This isn't going to be easy, is it? 3-game lead for the Padres with 17 to play. Now, they do lead 3 teams that have to be passed by 3 teams to not make the postseason in 2024. So still well positioned, but a weekend that you'd like to put behind you moving forward. 2 losses to the Giants, including today, where Joe Musgrove was done in by a 6-run 4th inning that included a sunball to Fernando Tatis Jr., who was 0 for 5 in this game, by the way, with 3 Ks and a double play. So there's a lot to react to. Padres lose a series to the Giants at home, and they still have to go to San Francisco, where the Giants have actually been good this year. So as you make your way in, we're on our way to 7,000 subscribers with your help. Like, we're within 20 or so subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. We'll get to 7,000 subscribers with your help. You can smash the like button. We appreciate that. You can follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. You can follow us on Twitter, which I just told you about. And if you want to support with a super chat, you can click the link in the, what am I talking about? I'm like all over the place. Super chats, click the $ below the chat box. I did not sleep last night. It's like 100 degrees in my place. And I worked that Aztec game last night.
It's a hot box in my house right now.
Yeah, and by the time I got home and my mind was like racing, I like did not sleep, and I'm still recovering from that. I slept throughout the course of the day a little bit, but anyway, we're here. We appreciate you. Subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. Great way to support the channel. Click the $ below the chat box. I mean, it felt pretty good after Friday night, Jim. We were here Friday night. They took game 1, and then you have Dylan Cease, and you have Joe Musgrove, and you have 2 losses. Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see where the Padres, can they rebound? They're without Hassan Kim. We'll get into that, what's going to happen here in the middle of the infield. But 3-game lead with 17 to play. It's not going to be easy.
Bad weekend. No way around it. That was a bad weekend. You had a missed opportunity against a Giants team that came in to Petco that was not playing good baseball. And they took 2 of 3. And they really knocked you around a little bit. I mean, besides Friday night, which was a really good, solid win. I mean, Saturday and Sunday, you can't blame. I'm not going to blame the Heat because the Giants were playing in the same conditions, but you got knocked around. I mean, Dylan Cease has not pitched well, and Joe Musgrove today it just imploded on him in the, what inning was that today? The fourth inning. And you roll out a lineup Saturday night that the bottom half of your lineup is David Peralta, Luis Campusano, Mason McCoy, and Tyler Wade. You're not winning many games with that bottom half of the lineup. And, today, a good effort to fight back, but they just couldn't overcome that really bad inning there in the 4th. And Fernando Tatis Jr. maybe had one of his worst games of his career today. With the drop ball, the offer, with all the strikeouts, the grounded double play. It's just, they had an opportunity with everything that's going on around them to take advantage of who they're playing, which is not a good baseball team. And instead, this turns into the Bob Melvin revenge series, and it's just going to make these things way harder. You have a 2-game lead on a playoff spot. The Mets hold the tiebreaker, and you now have a half-game lead over Arizona for the 4 seed. So they've done this to themselves, and do we expect anything else from this Padres team over like the course of the season? Of course, they had the amazing stretch in August, and that was great in the end of of July. But this team just loves to make things hard on themselves.
It's still a 3-game lead over Atlanta because you can't be passed only by the Mets and Diamondbacks and lose out on a playoff spot. So if you think about it from that perspective, they actually do truly have a 3-game playoff lead. They don't have it on the Mets. They do have it on the postseason because they do have a head-to-head tiebreaker with Atlanta. But this thing is getting way too close for comfort. And I'm with you. What a difference a game makes. I think if you win this series and if you are 4 up right now on a playoff spot, I'd feel differently. I feel like 4 with 17 to play with multiple teams needing to pass you is very unlikely. But I feel like at 3, everything's gotten tight again. And I mean, from the Padres perspective, like they could be playing tight. Hopefully they won't down the stretch here. And it's tough. Look at the series they still have. Houston, LA, Arizona, in San Francisco, in Seattle. Whoa. I mean, I know they have the White Sox, but that's 3 of their 17 games. The other 14, I can make a very easy argument for why they're not easy at all and are truly very challenging. And the inning, by the way, the 4th inning that kind of did in Joe Musgrove, and it's hard to be fully critical of Tatis because we've all looked up at the sun before, like it's hot, it's yellow, it's like a big globe. But The one thing I would say, and this really kind of surprised me, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, or someone look back at this, was Tatis wearing sunglasses earlier in this game or at the plate? Because he was not wearing sunglasses in the field in the fourth inning when the ball nearly hit him on the head. He turned away at the last moment, dropped his glove. We've all been there in Little League. We've all have felt that experience of a ball coming for you and you can't see it. But he was not wearing sunglasses. That's the one thing that for me, and I don't know if it changes anything, Jim. He let 3 home runs in the inning. But it might have changed something. It was a one-run game. And that one base runner could have been the difference between winning and losing. That was one of the runs that scored for the Giants today.
Yeah. I mean, it could have. I don't know if he was. Well, let me go back and check here.
I'm pretty sure at the plate he was wearing sunglasses at some point. I could be wrong.
But he wasn't wearing sunglasses when the ball dropped, right? What you're saying?
Definitely not.
Let me watch this here. My stupid phone would work.
All right, let me get to some of these supers. You look.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing sunglasses. I don't know if he was wearing sunglasses at the plate. To be honest,
he may not have been. And it's one of those days, like I mean, if you looked at the seating bulb because of how hot it was, I mean,
no one's going to.
As hot as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, no, like that. Just it was conditions that you're like, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, again, but
the Giants are playing the same thing.
I mean, I feel like if you're an outfielder on a day like that, you probably have sunglasses on, but maybe that's just me. Padres Payne, thank you for the super chat. He says Payne, which is kind of apropos considering your handle and your name. So thank you for the super chat. Guys, subscribe if you're here. You're on content for Padres fans, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box, like Vector53 says. These losses to bad/mid teams better not haunt us. They still have, Jim, I read this tonight from AJ Cassavell. They still have Major League Baseball's best record in the second half. They might be tied for it now, but they still have the best record since the All-Star break. But it doesn't really feel like that here as much recently. They had that 7-7 stretch over a 14-game period. They've gotten Tatis back. They've been up and down since he's come back. It doesn't feel like they were that team that went on that ridiculous run, whatever it was, 19-3.
So the remainder of their schedule, Seattle has. Okay, let me just pull this up real quick here. Seattle at home this year is 41-28. The Giants at home this year are 40-32. Houston at home is 41-30.
That's at Petco.
Oh, is it at Petco?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Arizona, they've been 39-31 at home.
That's good.
Dodgers 47-25 at home. And then obviously play the White Sox. So this to me feels like it's. I mean, every game is so crucial, but this week to kind of stabilize things and get back on track, because we said, hey, look, if they go 500 the rest of the way, you're probably making the postseason, but you may be making the postseason as a 6 seed.
Right.
And do you really want that? Now, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world because you go to Milwaukee, and if you get past Milwaukee, then you'd probably go to Philadelphia, and you're avoiding the Dodgers until the CS. I mean,
right. Depending on how you look at it, it's a good point, because we don't know what would happen in these series, whether you're home or road or who you're playing.
But the thing is, I think, beating the quote unquote best team in your league, the theory is you want them in a shorter series. The longer the series goes on, the tougher it gets. I don't feel that way against the Dodgers in this case, but anything can happen if you just whatever. But yeah, I mean, 500 the rest of the way, John, here might just get them as the 6 seed.
Well, let's do the math on it. Are you going to say 9-8? They have 17 games. So let's say 9-8 is 90-72. 8-9 is 89-73. So let's just go down that path.
Okay.
Then you would need a team like Atlanta or New York to finish with. Man, this is where the math gets annoying. I mean,
they're only one game up on the loss column.
What's that?
They only have a 1-game lead in the loss column over the Atlanta and the Mets, and they're tied in the loss column with the Diamondbacks.
Right, because they've played a couple of more games. You're right. So Atlanta would need to close like 12-7. I mean, you're right. I mean, there are no guarantees that 9-8 get you anything more than, to your point, probably a playoff spot. I'd be shocked if they missed a playoff spot by going 9-8 over their last 17 games, and all these teams play better than that, all three of them close playing good baseball, that to me is somewhat unlikely. But I guess it's not a guarantee even to be in at 9-8. Like the guarantees probably start at 10-7, and the guarantees to avoid a 6 seed probably start at 10-7 too, truthfully.
And to put all this work that this team has put in the second half to potentially lose out on a home playoff series in the wild card round. I mean, division's done. Division's over. You're 6 back of the Dodgers. That thing's cooked. It's over. But like the way they played in the second half, and it's not just a short burst, it's a prolonged burst here. You know, we're now in the second week of September, and you have the best record in the National League in the second half. And if they were to lose out on a home playoff series, man, that would be, I feel like, a little demoralizing. When you think?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I completely agree. Now, if you win it, that changes the equation. But if you lose it and you never play a home playoff game at Petco, despite the second half that you've put together, and you somehow win 90 games for the first time in forever, and you don't play a home playoff game, that would be kind of cruel, truthfully, for Padres fans. JD Gacho, thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. We appreciate the super chat. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for the super chats. Click the $ below the chat box. He says 4 teams for 3 spots. 2-game separation, popcorn ready. Well, to Jim's point, I mean, it is 1 game in the I mean, dude, I haven't brought this up. I mean, you were locking this thing in. I hate to be this guy, but it's 1 game in the loss column.
Hey, look,
I mean,
I don't care.
I'm not even joking. I mean, it's just 1 game in the loss column.
It's fine. I mean, I still feel confident of their chances of making the postseason. What I don't feel confident anymore about is their chances to host a playoff series in the wild card round.
Yeah, I don't feel confident they can do it, but I mean, kind of, it's still hard to figure out. I don't know. There's certain things. There's certain things that for me are hard to figure out sometimes with this team, even though they've played well in the second half. It's like everything that this was setting up beautifully. This was set. You're at home against San Francisco.
Yeah,
like you got to win that series. We said that. We said there's no such thing as a must win, but I mean, this is kind of that must win because you still got to go there where they're good. Like this was the series you had to capitalize on,
and you're not. I mean, you faced Webb on Saturday night. But...
Yeah, and you scored 2 runs off him in the first inning. You got to hold that lead when you score 2 runs off Logan Webb for Dylan Cease.
Well, that's a conversation that we probably should start having here. Is like, hey, Dylan Cease,
no-hitter.
What's going on? Because since that no-hitter, you've been
nowhere near as good,
average at best, and your last 6 of your last 7 starts. The 7th start is back to the 1 inning in Pittsburgh.
Dumb, yeah.
His last 6 starts, John, he has not been good at all. Let me just pull this up here.
You have the numbers?
Yeah. So his last 6 starts is today or Saturday night, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. The previous start, 5 innings, 3 runs. The previous start of that, 4 1/3. 4 runs, then 6 1/3, 3 runs, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 5 innings, 5 runs. Now
it's a 5.01 ERA.
Every single one of those starts, you're giving the team decent innings, fine, but you're giving up runs every single outing, and you are walking too many guys, and you're losing command, and it's just like, if they are going to go where they want to go, they need an ace. Now, if it's not going to be Dylan Cease, is it going to be Joe Musgrove? Who is it going to be? If Dylan Cease is not going to be the guy that we saw in July up to his no-hitter, this is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Musgrove had been pitching brilliantly until today. Like, you wonder if what happened to Tatis impacted Musgrove at the exact same time. Not to excuse it, but you have to think, like, from a human perspective, who's king? He's not the Rays. He's not starting game 1.
I mean, King's been their best pitcher, but
he's been their best pitcher, but he's not the Rays because he's not starting game 1 of the postseason. So you're saving your ace for a potential elimination game in a 3-game series. I like Michael King as much as the next guy, but he's not starting game 1 of a series. Whoever starts game 1 has to be capable of going 6 innings in that. You know what I mean? Like,
King's capable of doing that.
Score. My point is, I'm saying in that actual game 1, if it is Dylan Cease or Joe Musgrove, that person who's not going to be Michael King, in my opinion, has to go 6 innings or go 5 scoreless innings. And I'm saying, do we have confidence that Dylan Cease in that game 1 wild card goes 6 innings based on what we've seen here recently and allows 1 or fewer runs? And I don't, truthfully. And man, he allows the long ball like Musgrove. Occasionally will allow the long. I mean, Dylan Cease, when he gets hit hard, and he doesn't get hit a lot, but when he gets hit, he can get hit.
Now,
pretty hard.
I'll say this. I do agree. If you're talking about game 1 of a series, it's probably Cease or Musgrove. But somebody needs to be banging on the table, for Michael King, because he's been really good, John. I don't care about the names. I care about the numbers. And Michael King has been fantastic this whole season long, and in the second half, he's been their best pitcher. So, like, I get the names part, but if you want to truly go in there and put the best guys out there with the best numbers, to me, it's at this point in time, Michael King has to 100% get one of the first 2 starts.
Yeah, no, I agree. His numbers have been really, really good, and they're getting better, and his second half has been elite. I just personally would be surprised if Dylan Cease did not start the playoff opener for the Padres unless they're fighting for something on the final day of the regular season. Even that could be risky to use a pitcher like Dylan Cease and then, quote-unquote, waste him for game 1 of the postseason. But, I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, Michael King's been great. He's starting one of the first 2 games, to your point. I don't think you could save him until game 3 because there might not be a game 3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Game 1 to me might be a little – I guess they all matter the same.
Yeah.
Game 1 and 2 are the same thing. You're still alive in both games.
It's like you start him in game 1 and then have Cease pitch an elimination game, or vice versa.
Game 2 and it's the same thing, I guess.
Or Cease finally snaps out of it, pitches amazing, and you have King and Musgrove to finish it out.
Yeah, that's true. Padres Pain, I missed this, by the way. He says, friend works for 100%. That's a Tatis sponsor. Was screaming. Okay. Thank you, Padres Pain. Carlos, appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support of the channel. As always, I have a feeling Carlos might not be thrilled tonight. Let's see. So are we blaming this horrible Musgrove outing on the Heat again? This game was garbage. Starting pitching is a huge concern for the playoffs. I mean, I
wouldn't bad outing since returning.
Yeah, he had been awesome. He always wears sleeves, and he was today. He was 10 up, 10 down to start the game. The ball was hit to Tatis and right. Tatis ran away from it like I would have. And everything changed. So, I mean, I would put it more on, if I'm going to make excuses, which we're not going to do, but if I was going to, I would actually start with Tatis, and then I'd go to Heat, and then I mean, we should put it on Musgrove. He let 3 home runs in the inning. Yeah. But I'm saying if you want to make an excuse, I can make an excuse. Fernando Tatis Jr., 10 up and 10 down, has a ball hit right to him, and he can't make the play on, which I get. I've looked at the sum before, too. It's hard. It sucks.
I personally, if you're telling me, like, who would you be more worried about, Cease or Musgrove's not even close. It's Dylan Cease. Not even close right now. I mean, Joe had 1 bad inning. He got hit really hard. Like you said, he started the game 10 up, 10 down. And that 1 bad inning was the game.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately,
his last 5 starts, dude's been fucking nails. Dylan Cease has not. Dylan Cease has been the definition of average to not good. His 5 starts, Joe's not been that. So Cease to me is my most concerning part of this rotation right now. Michael King is, to me, the most consistent part of this rotation right now. And Joe, hopefully that this doesn't turn into something and he goes back to the way he was pitching before that 4th inning today. And that's what it is. So, like, there's no excuses for Joe today. He had 1 horrible inning that cost him the game, and he's been pitching great ever since.
I think if there is an excuse, like, I mean, I do think that Tatis ball is a legitimate quote unquote excuse, but that's only 1/6. That's basically 1/6 of the damage, if we're going to be honest with each other.
And truthfully, pitchers deal with errors behind them all the time.
All the time. You got to be able to overcome them.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Joe gave up 6 runs because of Tatis. Like, no, Joe should have not given up 6 runs because of Tatis, but he did. And it started it, but, like, not every single ball was hit to Tatis. He gave up 3 bombs.
Yeah, I mean, the Chapman homer right after Ramos reached, they showed like a quick cut of Tatis.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man. You know, it just sucks. Like, after you drop a ball, the next dude homers, and then that thing just completely snowballed. And again, it's as much on Musgrove as it is on anyone else in that 6-run inning. Carlos, appreciate you. He says we kissed the division goodbye this weekend. We all agree with that. Yep. These games were so winnable. Even yesterday was a horrible managerial game. Yuki, really? BS. Were you talking about when they trailed maybe 5-3 or 6-3 late? Here's what I would say. These were winnable games. Why? They led 2-0 on Brandon. I keep calling him Brandon Webb. They led 2-0 on Logan Webb for Dylan Cease. Multiple run leads at home for Dylan Cease should be wins. Yeah. And they lost the game. And then today, despite everything that played out, the fact that they came back in this game and had tying run at the plate, Profar flies out to deep right field in foul territory for the final out of the game. I mean, they had chances here to do another one of those, how on earth did the Padres get back into this game? So I don't know if I would say today was quote unquote winnable. You trail 6-0. That's not like, hey, let's go win the game. But yesterday, I think you built a 2-run lead for Dylan Cease. An ace has to win a game with a multiple run lead like 98% of the time.
Yeah. And you gave up, 4 runs yesterday. The bullpen, giving it up as well late in that game.
Matsui was pitching with a deficit in the 9th. We've had those conversations before. That's a tricky game to play.
And you've needed to give your top guys rest, even though today they used Adam and Scott. The only positive from this weekend is they didn't they lost 2 or 3. That's not good, but they didn't use Robert Suarez, and he got a much needed 4 days off.
He's got the Monday because of the off day. They're off Thursday, by the way. There's a 2-game series with the Monday and Thursday wrapped around it. Yeah. So you're right. I mean, if there's something to look forward to here for the final 17 games is a rested team other than Hassan Kim. And we need to get into that momentarily. Let me get to one more super here and then we'll get into that. We're going to get to all the supers, by the way. So we appreciate your support of the channel. Please subscribe. Thank you for the super chats. We really do appreciate it. We'll get to all of them. We'll pull them up on screen. Just click the $ below the chat box. Grayson, thank you. Very generous. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
He says, crap weekend for sure. Musgrove had a bad outing, but we were just talking about this, but they still fought back and almost completed the comeback. I know that doesn't count as a win, but they didn't roll over. So that's my positive take. That's who they are. They don't roll over. I'll give you that. I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to cause problems for teams even when they're trailing, and they did that once again here today. Xander Bogarts hit a home run. Jackson Merrill hit a home run. They did some good things. They scored 6 runs at home. That's often enough at Petco Park, but not today.
Yeah, I'm not going to like poo-poo. I mean, if they scored 6 runs in the 9th inning and they were down 7-0 the whole game, that's like, I mean, that first of all, it's great. And if they like took all their starters out, right? And it's like the fake comeback. Like this was a legit, like almost comeback here. But again, no positives. They lost the game. It just it is. It's not great. And truthfully, Joe, I mean, besides today, he has been pitching beautifully. Like I don't see how you could say it any other way. Since his return up until today, he had like a 1.27 ERA, something crazy like that.
Is that what it was? It was he had been great.
Yeah. And for anybody that thinks that he has not been great, I don't know what you're watching. He has been since his return.
He had been great.
He's truthfully had 1 bad inning since his return, and that was today in the 4th inning. And it was a really bad one.
Even today, you have John Miller, Giants Radio, being like, I didn't see his no-hitter, but through 10 batters, he's got no-hit stuff, and then boom.
He struck out 7 in 4 1/3.
Yeah, he was, I know, he was rolling. He was absolutely rolling in this game until he wasn't after the Tatis ball. Grayson, thank you again also for the super sticker. I don't think it shows up in our software. We do appreciate your support of the channel. A couple of earlier supers that I just missed that I'm getting back to. Carlos, thank you again, man. He says, final point. There's not a single starting pitcher we can trust blindly in the playoffs. Cease looks off. Musgrove is a bust ever since he got paid.
Carlos, you're just mad. I'm not even going to respond to you because, like, I get it. Thanks for the super, buddy. But, like, you're just mad. Calm down. It's okay. Stop. I appreciate it.
No. Keep them coming like this. And then he says, finally, Schilt decides that Solano needs to play more. Diaz needs to replace Campy now. I love Schilt, but a lot of the weekend were bad decisions from him. Here's the thing. If you're going to say the bad decision of starting Luis Campusano, I don't even know who's coming up with the starting lineup. I have no clue if that's even Mike Schilt. If you're going to say the bad decision, now they finally moved Bogarts, right? In the middle of this game, they moved Bogarts to short. And now this has opened up this possibility that we've been talking about here of getting Donovan Solano back in a lineup because you're without Ha-Seong Kim. Now, Kim apparently today, Schilt wouldn't go as far as to call it a setback, which means it's a setback because he won't say anything.
Yes.
But he still hasn't thrown across the diamond. It's been weeks now. He's been out for multiple weeks. I don't even know how long it is. It's got to be 15, 20 days at least at this point. And the playoffs are like coming, man. We're 3 weeks away. This guy's going to have very little time in the big leagues, assuming he returns in the regular season. It's time to start making plans for what it's going to look like if you don't have Ha-Seong Kim. And I think that's what's playing out here now that we're into September with Xander Bogarts.
Xander Bogarts said post-game that it's paraphrasing. It's like frustrating to him that Donald Solano's not playing every day.
Yeah, I love that.
And so, look, there's two options here, and this is it. One, you move Xander to short. You move Cronenworth to second. You have Arise and Solano split time at first. The other guy's your DH. That's your lineup. And if you're not going to do that, which that's the option that you need to go with, if you're going to be reluctant for some reason to move Xander to shortstop here, then you need to have Nick Ahmed get some time, because the whole McCoy and Tyler Wade combo here is just pure trash. It's just not working at all. And I don't understand why they continue to do it. And if they on Tuesday don't have Xander at short, then they're complicit, or whatever the term is. They're hurting themselves for some reason on purpose when they don't have to. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not like Xander's never played short. He's played short for his entire career up until this season. I think he's going to be okay if he goes back to shortstop.
Well, apparently he will. I mean, based on what we're hearing today,
like it's like, hey, I rode a bike for 50 years or whatever, and then I don't ride any bikes for 2 years. I think when I get back on the bike, I'm going to be okay.
But that doesn't mean that it was ultimately his preference, though.
Like he was quoted right now.
He was quoted. Yeah, I know, but you also want him to be at least like capable, because Xander Bogarts has been incapable.
Well, maybe today getting him back at short for a couple innings there was the lead in to like, hey man, the Kim injury, that could be a problem here. We need you back at short.
Well, yeah, clearly that's, I think, why I played out here today. All right, Carlos is he's very mad about the Saturday game. 1-run game could have gone to Adam, Scott, or those guys to hold the 1-run deficit. Yeah, he does that today, but not Saturday. Game got out of hand the ninth, but hold on. Saturday, everyone was freaking on tired legs. Bad example for pitchers, but you know what I mean? They've been using these guys obsessively, and you're trailing. So they're trying to give some guys a blow. Plus, the difference between yesterday and today is those guys have an extra day of rest. Secondly, you're coming back from 6 runs down. So if there is something to chase, go do it, because you've just scored 6 runs to get back into it, where the day before, those guys have one less day of rest. And Schilt has said this recently, Carlos. He has said this in the last 2 weeks. You can't do it every time. You got to pick your spots when going to your A team when trailing late in games. And that's what he did this weekend. He picked his spots.
Yeah, I blame the offense for Saturday night, 100%. And I also put it on the fact that, again, I mean, the bottom of your lineup was Peralta, Campy, Wade, McCoy. Now, Wade had 2 hits that game, but I mean, you're going into that game with that bottom half of the lineup, you're asking for trouble, and you're asking for a team to not score many runs.
I agree with that. I do. All right, we're going to get back to the Supers in a moment. We do want to thank our title sponsor here on the wrap-up show, because we can't do it without everyone that's here live or on replay, and we can't do it without Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Great insurance agent. You can take that from us. I've had insurance through Mark at Farmers Insurance for years at this point, homeowners and earthquake and life insurance, and you can as well. He can save you a lot of money just by switching your insurance over to him. I'm talking about $750 or more in addition to that if you ever need them, like I did back in 2022 because we had a flood. He's going to take care of you, and he's going to save you time and money. And he's a great insurance agent with great communication. And really what separates him from others is he's there for you, right? He's going to check in on you. And if you ever need him, he's going to be there for you. And he's a San Diegan and a lifelong Padres fan. So, and he's been with the channel, by the way, since day one. So if you support the channel, click the link in the description down below, get free quotes online, or call Mark. He'll talk to you about the Padres. He'll talk to you about saving money on your insurance. But we do thank our title sponsor since day one on the wrap-up show, Mark Nimitz.
Yeah, all his information is on the ticker below, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show has sent you. Sorry.
This is an interesting question from JD Gaucho. He's asking basically, are Padres fans rooting for the Dodgers, is what he's saying. So 4-game series between the Dodgers and the Braves. The Dodgers have won the division, barring something completely unforeseen that's not happening. Therefore, knowing that Atlanta is a part of this wild card group, I mean, that's kind of a fair point. Like, do you root for Atlanta to lose? I mean, I would root for Atlanta to lose. Yeah. If I'm a Padres fan and I'm trying to get in and put myself in the best spot to get in, I would root for Atlanta to lose. I would not root for Atlanta to win.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Atlanta to lose. I'm not sitting there saying,
yeah, I mean, who cares? It's not like you're rooting for the Dodgers. You're just rooting for Atlanta to lose because ultimately you'd rather have the Padres in the postseason than Pride, right? I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carlos, thank you for the super. He says ground ball double play is making me feel like 2023 again. Thanks, Ander. Did you see his home run?
No, he didn't. He did not do that.
Got him right back into the game. But he does grind into a lot of double plays. There's no question.
Right.
Carlos, thanks again. He says Saturday was horrible, manager.
Okay.
Now Yuki's been awful. They do need to get him. I don't know what Yuki's role is going to be in the postseason. He's been bad. Down by 1, you bring in Yuki, punted the game, and he puts Merrill, Tatis, and Solano in the 9th. So he did want to win. Well, I mean, it's different. Carlos, you know this. You can use pinch hitters every day of the week. You can't use Robert Suarez every day of the week. There's a big difference between using Donovan Solano.
He wouldn't want to use Robert Suarez every day of the week, too. He hates him, too.
But you know what I mean? You can't use Tanner Scott every day. You can use Donovan Solano every day.
By the way, I mean, Merrill's out there playing on one fucking leg. Like,
and homering.
In homering. And Tatis hasn't played baseball in 2 months. You know,
and is swinging and missing in a lot of things.
Right. He's trying to find something.
Yeah, like the ball. Both in the field and in the batter's box.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
He's had some moments. I mean, even Saturday, I think he doubled in the 9th down the right field line. But 0 for 5, 3 Ks, ground ball double play today was less than ideal.
Yeah, and you can't use the drop ball. And we said this on I think Thursday night that going into the Giants series, the first 2 games, you were going to be without Suarez, Scott, and Adam. That's just what it was going to be because they've pitched so much and you got to give them some break here. And that was the thinking of the team. That's what they chose. They chose to use their better guys for that stretch there to go get the wins, as many wins as possible. And then you were going to give them. So there was no chance in hell either of those 3 guys were going to pitch on Saturday night. This is never going to happen. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that's exactly right. You can't, this is not fantasy baseball. This is not a video game. They needed the 2 days off and they got the 2 days off and they needed to pitch the other 4 of the last 5 to get those wins as well. So, I mean, it is what it is. And that's what I mean, that doesn't mean they're not going to use them all the time, but there's a difference between using them all the time and using them all the time. And they're not going to use them all the time. Like they're going to have
100%.
off days.
By the way, thank you, Lance, on X, who tagged me and said Tatis said after the game that he doesn't like to wear sunglasses in the field. I've definitely seen him wear sunglasses in the field.
Bro, the sun is like really like bright.
Yeah, and it's like I don't like to run. I don't like to run, but I do it. Like because it's good for my health. Like I don't want to wear sunglasses either, but it's a day game at Petco Park and it's 93 degrees out. So
maybe for him it's hard to track the ball with sunglasses, but if it's not and he's just like a personal thing, like what are you doing?
Richard, appreciate you. He says, my biggest gripe about your team, your failure to beat under 500 teams, the intensity and passion only shows up for LA or other high profile games. I will actually debunk that right now because the Padres this year are 37-25 against under 500 teams, which is a darn good winning percentage. I'll look it up, but it's good. 37-25. Let's see.
It's good.
37 divided by 62. I mean, they're winning at a 600 clip. I mean, that's pretty good against teams that have a sub 500 record to win 60% of the time. I don't think that's done them in this year. I really don't.
It hasn't because they are currently the 4th seed in the playoffs. Now, maybe if you're thinking division, then yeah, maybe it's done them in there for sure.
Sure.
But like, if you can't win the division, I think getting the 4 seed and hosting a playoff series in the wild card round is pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, it would be great. I mean, I mean, that's
no
the best
team is
scenario.
perfect, guys. Like no team is perfect. You're gonna have series where you lose to shitty teams. It's about when those things happen. Like if it's at the end of the year when you need to capitalize on the team you're playing against, it feels worse than if it was in like, June, even though we are a show that the contest every series and every game does matter.
Yeah, and they do. And then there's this. I mean, hopefully this plays out, assuming they make the postseason, that they're good enough, more than good enough against good teams. 5 games over 500 is a solid overall record. It's better than the Diamondbacks. It's better than the Mets. It's not as good as the Phillies. It's not as good as the Dodgers. It's not as good as the Brewers. So, but they've been good against good teams. 5 games over 500. That's good. Not great, but good. Carlos says, and thank you, man. He says he will not watch the Padres next weekend.
Carlos
will be in Mexico. Well, that's because he's going to be in Mexico City drinking away. Y'all will get a rest of me. Monday, I decide if I punch a wall or have faith. Carlos, stay with us for the rest of the way. This team is still in good shape. This team has still played good baseball in the second half of the year. This team still would be the 4th seed of the season. Ended today. We can't guarantee what's going to happen the next 3 weeks, and there could be some drama and adversity and ups and downs in there, but keep the faith is what I would say.
That's going to be hard for Carlos. I mean, this team would literally, if this team was on pace to win 130 games, there'd be a problem with it in his mind.
No, there wouldn't.
Be like, they haven't played for anything in 2 months, and they have a week off. And this fucking bullshit. I knew they were going to lose. I told you they were going to lose. See?
Maybe. All right. Well, we have a moment. MOVA Globes, guys, pick these up. You guys have been recently picking these up.
Yes.
And you can get 10% off. 10% off using promo code PWS10. That's PWS10. Amazing products. MOVA Globes is based here in San Diego. The technology invented in Cardiff by the Sea, right here in North County. And they've got all 30 teams officially licensed, Padres and the other 29 as well. In addition to that, they have planetary globes. They've got so many cool products. And you can check them out right now by clicking the link in the description down below. But you got to pick these up. They spin automatically based on artificial or natural light. There are no cords. There are no wires. They are really great gift ideas. These are great for home offices. Your family's going to love these. These are great for the baseball fan in your life, whether they're a Padres fan or not. I mean, I wouldn't get them a Padres globe if they don't like the Padres, but you could get another team if they don't like the Padres. So pick them up. Padres MOVA Globes available right now. Use promo code PWS10, PWS10, and get 10% off.
Yeah, pick this up right now. If you're a Padres fan, this is a must-have for a desk, a work desk, bookshelf, nightstand, or if you have like, a man cave or whatever, get a Padres MOVA Globe. If you're a Padres fan, PWS10 right now, go to MOVA Globes, pick it up. Even if you're not a Padres fan, you still watch us. Cool. And they have MOVA Globes for every single Major League Baseball team out there. So go pick up a MOVA Globe today. Use our Padres, or not Padres, but our discount code PWS10. Pick up a MOVA Globe, a World MOVA Globe, Sun MOVA Globe, a Moon, Venus, Jupiter. Pick it up right now.
Sure. Any of the planets. So many great ones out there.
Yeah, there's like 8 others to pick from in the solar system. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's so many. Trying to think what else. I mean, I can think the good news is, listen, there was concern with Merrill that it could be more than a day. Missed a day. Like, you can live with that. Came back, hit a home run. 23 home runs for Jackson Merrill is unbelievable. With 17 games left, he could still hit, 25 to 27 home runs, which is a massive number for any rookie in Major League Baseball. And now we wait on Ha-Seong Kim, and I don't know if I'm holding my breath. What's the deal with Nicky? Like, without Kimmy, where's Nicky?
I truly think that either it's such an easy move. Nick Ahmed, send down Mason McCoy. That's done. I don't think Tyler Wade has any options. Does he? I don't know. Anyway.
I have no idea.
And that's only, that's to me, like, I saw someone on Twitter ask, like, what's the difference between Nick Ahmed and Mason McCoy? They both are pretty decent defensively, and they both have the same numbers at the plate. The thing is, Mason McCoy has had what, 35 innings in the field in his career. Nick Ahmed has like hundreds and hundreds of innings in the field. He's a vet that I think is along the lines of an Elias Diaz. Like, we're all saying Elias Diaz over Nick Campusano or not Nick Campusano.
Who's Nick Campusano?
I'm thinking of Nick Ahmed and Nick Campusano as one person. We're all sitting here saying Elias Diaz over Luis Campusano in the postseason roster, correct? So then we're saying that because Elias Diaz is more experienced. So why wouldn't we say the same thing about Nick Ahmed over like Mason McCoy? It just makes too much sense if you're not going to move Xander to short.
Yes. I think Xander just moves to short.
I hope
Based
so.
on everything that Schulte said today after the game, he seemed to kind of be upfront with it and quasi honest with it. And again, he already showed his cards, which is putting Bogarts at short. And Nick Campusano, I don't know how good of a player that would be, truthfully. Probably not worse than what they have going on.
Well, at least defensively, he'd be better.
Probably true. Look at this. Carlos has followed up with this super saying he does love Jackson Merrill. Can't do any wrong. All right.
Found a positive.
Emojis in the chat for
Found
Carlos.
a positive from Carlos. We love it.
It's an amazing year, man. He's going to hit 25 plus home runs, driving 90 plus. Unbelievable.
Best rookie season in franchise history.
Should be rookie of the year, which is beneficial for the Padres with their upcoming draft as well. So all good. Matt, thank you for the membership and the super chat. He says apparently the second game, the Vedder Cup, will be on FS1. Finally, the best rivalry in baseball gets national coverage. It's going to be huge. Everyone's already talking about it.
I know that our bro Bernie Wilson's excited.
Oh my gosh, everyone's excited. You get 640. How about that? The rare night game to wrap a series because the Padres are off the next day. My guess is the Mariners are staying at home.
So you mean they're not cutting into our show like they do like
they should do a 302 start.
Jeez. Now, luckily, there's only one game left in the year that will cut into our show. That's next Wednesday versus Houston.
Yeah, until we get to the postseason, every game is 3 p.m.
Well, in the postseason, if it's at 3 p.m., we're probably not doing a show live, John.
We're going to do a show taped?
No, we're not doing a show taped. What I meant is
take the day off. We'll do like a post game.
Postseason, I can guarantee you, if the game's on during our show, you won't be seeing us doing a show during the postseason games.
Well, why wouldn't we do we could do counter programming. This, you could do.
We will be doing
Detroit.
We will be right. Well, okay. Well, okay. John and Jim will in the postseason. If there's a game on during our show, we will be doing a show after the game. If depending on the timing of everything, but again, anytime during our show in the postseason, we're not doing a show during the games.
Okay, so you're not going to get any coverage of Bills Cardinals today.
No, you won't be getting it from us.
Although who does play tomorrow? The Jets.
The Jets.
The Jets play tomorrow.
It's the Jets game tomorrow.
It's the Jets game tomorrow. I'm kidding. Carlos, thank you, man. He says, let's go to Houston versus Padres September 17th.
You want to go to the game? 17th. He's inviting us. Won't bitch too much.
Wait. I was going to say, what? Okay. When is it? What day of the week is that?
It's Tuesday.
All of us?
Potentially.
I got a kid, Carlos.
I have a wife.
Come over here. You can watch the game for my place.
We'll see.
Seriously, if you want to come over, I'll pick up pizza. I got Padres.tv on my Roku device.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Doesn't sound terrible. Buenos Aires or whatever it's called. It's not Buongiorno. You know what I'm talking about?
What?
By Bird Rock Coffee Roasters, Torrey Pine State Beach.
Dude, I am sweating my
I'm sweating my ass off.
My
dying.
Sweat is going down my back right now.
You should have brought a fan, but then
it doesn't help. It just blows hot
air. By the way, I think we're 2 days away. I think Tuesday cools off a little, and Wednesday definitely cools off.
Oh yeah, no, the rest of the week is fine. Just this weekend the sun decided to show up and have a fucking party in San Diego.
Andrew, appreciate you, man. He says sunglasses don't help with ball that's right into sun. I mean, fair. It's like saying like a rocket launcher doesn't help with an asteroid heading right for Earth. But like, there's ways to like we've all worn sunglasses before, and there's ways to navigate. It's a lot easier to look towards the sun with sunglasses than without. Do we all agree on that? I got these great blenders over here. Okay, I'll grab them. Hold on, I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna look like Dion. Hold on.
Are these the new ones?
No. I'm gonna prove it for them. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Here's the point I'm going to prove. I have a light. Okay.
Shine it in your face.
This light is bright. Okay. But it's less bright when I put sunglasses on. So my theory is, if Tatis is wearing sunglasses, yeah, there's still the sun, but I feel like this would maybe combat some of it.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I agree. Oh, dude, you're so cool.
Check him on.
Yeah, it makes you look cooler. Like,
oh, so cool.
Like
look
physically and like
I feel cooler. Like I feel like my body's getting cooled off.
Tyler, that's John.
What do you say? You look.
He goes Asian Jim. I think people still don't realize who we are sometimes.
We should put our name. Are our names not on here?
They are when we John Schaefer and Jim Russell. Those are our Twitter handles. But they go away when we put a chat up.
The GOAT is here, Mark Nimitz.
Oh, what's up, dude?
What's up, Mark? We told you about Mark earlier. If you need any insurance, I don't know. If you need insurance in any capacity, auto, home, rental,
insurance,
then click the link in the description down below. Let Mark take care of that for you. San Diegan, title sponsor. Yeah, what do you mean you hate right? It's like you hate sunglasses?
I have to listen to what he said because I haven't heard what he said.
I think he said he doesn't like wearing them in the field, which is reasonable.
Okay.
But I'm kind of on team Mark here. I feel like if you wear the sunglasses, hence the fact that I'm wearing them right now, you probably catch the ball, right?
If you caught every ball, it'd be fine. But when you have a mess up like that today, then I think maybe someone's in his ear like, dude, maybe you should put some sunglasses on.
I think the next time there's a day game, which like you just said, isn't going to be very often. There's a couple Sunday day games. Maybe he'll be wearing them. Carlos isn't done. Buca de Pepo meatballs from Joe Musgrove today, who had 3 home runs. Okay. Now, Janet says in the postgame interview, Tatis said he has a harder time seeing with sunglasses when the sun is directly above him.
Okay. Doesn't he have like his own Tatis sunglasses?
Yes. You got like a pair sent to you.
I didn't. Marty did, and I wore them. And he took a picture of me, and I looked like a fucking loser in them.
Yes, I love that photo so much.
For some reason, like my body looks like it's like a blob. Like for some reason,
it's so
like a blob, and then the sunglasses make my face look fat and chubby. I don't look as cool as Tatis.
No, you really don't. But then again, no one really does.
No, yeah, you're right.
I'm just looking at some of these comments. All right.
Chat is feisty tonight.
The chat is really feisty, and while the chat is feisty, how do I pull down it's been a long day. Guys, NFL season is here, and Underdog has gone crazy with all their offers. It's their best offer yet. You're getting up to $1,000 in bonus cash if you use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. That's PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Click the link in the description down below. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. A lot of you have been doing this with the NFL back, with Padres pick'ems going on each and every day. You can play across sports. You can play an NFL pick, and you can pair it with like a Joe Musgrove pick, and you can win up to 325 times your money in a single night. I mean, you can win thousands and thousands of dollars. They have discounted picks for you. They have free pick'ems that they're offering with the start of the NFL season as well, and they've $1,000 in bonus cash if you use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP, up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's a 50% deposit match. Just use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP.
Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use our promo code. What are you guys doing? Football season's underway. Still got baseball. Playoffs will be coming up here shortly. Underdog Fantasy, PODSWRAP. Download it right now.
Are you laughing at this?
Yes.
That was great.
These bums.
He needs to work, so he can't go to the 340 game.
Jesus.
I love it. I love it. All right. We're
I'm
both
hot.
tired and hot. This sucks. Honestly, you don't have air conditioning?
No,
I always, but you have the air conditioning units.
it's not work. It's like not helping as much as I thought it would.
Have you put in the new like coolant or whatever?
Huh?
You got to put coolant in it.
I mean, it's really cold, but like we're asking it to cover a lot of ground, and it's not working.
Well, just do it in one room and close all the doors around. Like just hang out in the bedroom or the living room.
But it's not as simple as that.
How's Bentley dealing with this with fur?
Well, I mean, it's not great for him, John.
I like that breakdown.
We went and had like ice cream for dinner.
You guys are the dog too.
I'll bet everybody.
Holy crap!
We got him doggy gelato from Italy.
You brought it back?
Yes, but it's like powder. So what you do is you just put water in it and you like shake it up,
freeze it,
and you freeze it, and it's like for dogs. I think.
Have you ever gotten Bentley like the normal like ice cream and the little like
Pup cups?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he gets pup cups all the time. That's his favorite thing on the planet.
Are they called pup cups?
If I mention to him pup cup, he freaks out.
Do it right now.
No, he's in the room. He'll be like, "What?
Pup cup?"
And he's so smart that every time we go to like his favorite spots that give him pup cups, he knows and he freaks out. Like if I'm close to a Starbucks that he's been to, freaks out. I'm close to a coffee shop that we've been to, freaks out.
That's amazing.
Like he'll drag, like if we go on walks, he'll drag us to certain coffee shops and places that he's gotten treats from.
Smart.
Oh my God. When it comes to food, there's not a smarter dog than Bentley.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go off topic for a moment. JD Gasher, thank you. He says NIU got paid $1.5 million to beat Notre Dame. This was a great game. We were watching. I mean, you drill a field goal at the buzzer basically to beat Notre Dame in South Bend. That's a pretty damn good. Top 5. They beat the number 5 ranked team in the country, the highest ranked win ever by a MAC program.
And now they're ranked in top 25.
Oh, I didn't even see it. What were they in the coaches bowl?
25th.
Just inside it.
25th. Yeah. I mean, you beat a top 5 school. You got to be in there, especially for 2-0.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, they earned it. 100%. Completely agree.
I mean, once again, just Notre Dame's a fraud, which is, I mean,
I wonder if they win out, do they still get in the playoff?
Probably.
At 11-1 with 12 teams. But do they deserve it? With a home loss? Well, I guess we'll see how NIU is this year.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see how the playoff shakes out because a top team, top 10 team, top 12 team losing a game isn't like the end of the world.
No, it's not.
But
losing at home to like losing at home to a program outside the Power 5, if you're Notre Dame, is not going to be great.
Frauds.
And then, this was an incredible game. I didn't watch 1 second of it, but this was back and forth, and Boise certainly had chances to win it, and they lost at the buzzer on a short field goal from Oregon.
You know, we're all talking about the non-Power 5 school that's going to get in the playoff.
Could be Boise.
Boise State. If they're going to look like that, they could cause some, especially Ashton Genty.
Dude,
holy
he's
shit.
He's like the Heisman front runner. He's got over 400 yards.
He's got 9 touchdowns on the year already.
Jesus. Wow. He's going to run for 30 touchdowns?
I mean, well, it helped that he ran for 6 in the opener against
But
Georgia
3
Southern.
at Oregon ain't bad.
Almost had 200 yards on the ground. Like, Boise is a problem, especially in the Mountain West. But if they have that running game with Ashton Genty, if they get into the college football playoff, who would be someone? Who would be the 5th seed? You think? Like, just name a team.
Well, it'll be a non-conference champion. So like number 2 in the SEC. Let's say like the loser of the SEC title game. Let's say that's like
Alabama, Georgia,
like Alabama. Who else is good in the SEC other than
Texas?
Georgia? Yeah, you'd be playing Texas.
I think Texas could win the SEC though.
Okay, then you'd be playing Georgia in Athens.
Okay, then that's a little bit of a problem, but still,
season over at that point.
I mean, Ashton Genty's a potential first or second round draft pick.
Yeah, he's like a top 20 pick, and he's a running back. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Carlos wants to know. Let's get back to baseball for a moment. If we get wild card 1, how's the playoff bracket right now? Well, it's Arizona, the 4-5 as we sit. It's San Diego, Arizona by like half game right now, and then winner gets LA. Right? Do I have that right?
Yeah. So it's the same format as 2022, except the Padres were the 5th seed that year, and they went to LA right after, and that would be the same scenario here. And it's not a reseeding, which we talked about recently on the show. Like it probably, in my opinion, should be, because why would, if you're the number 1 seed, why all of a sudden you have to face a 4-5 when you have an opportunity to potentially face a 6 if the 6 moves on? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
You're like, oh, we're the 1 seed, but we're not facing the worst seeded team remaining. Like, huh?
Right. Because it's bracketed. It is kind of weird.
Like that just doesn't make sense. So because it is bracketed, because baseball just makes things difficult all the time for themselves, and weird and complicated, then you, as a 4-5 matchup, would go to LA.
What is that? All right. I need to go drink water.
I know. Me too. I need to go drink water and eat more ice cream.
I might have some ice cream, truthfully. All right.
Please subscribe. I'm not sleeping tonight. Like we're not.
I'm gonna need to. I didn't sleep well last night. All right. Please subscribe. Year-round content for Padres fans. We're 27 subscribers away from 7,000. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, we do appreciate that. We are your home for Padres content in season and out of season. So please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. We appreciate the super thanks if you're here on replay. So thank you for your support of the channel. And again, our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you have an insurance need, let Mark save you money. Click the link in the description down below. MOVA Globes, get 10% off using promo code PWS10. That's PWS10. Click the link in the description down below. And Underdog Fantasy, they've gone crazy. Best offers of the year with the NFL season back. Use promo code PODSWRAP. Click the link in the description down below. PADSWRAP. We'll catch up tomorrow at 3 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760 for John and Jim. We'll also be on YouTube tomorrow at 3 p.m. Looking ahead to that Seattle series, the final 3 weeks of the regular season. What are you laughing at?
Just
Carlos.
He's having a breakdown.
I know. It was no games 2 of the next 4 days, Carlos. Monday or Thursday. Everyone take a deep breath.
Calm down, Carlos, dude. Seriously. Like,
this has been the wrap-up show.
Peace.